Good morning.
Good morning. How are
I
you this fine day?
yeah, I'm amazing. I am coming to you from a different location than normal, so it'll be lovely. I've got lots of hummingbirds moving about and offering their joy to me, and I have a little visitor friend here, so we have a little pupper, so he may have some things to say while we're chatting.
That's amazing.
But I am grateful to be here for our weekly chat. I have this beautiful hummingbird that just keeps flitting about in front of me. So it's a very joyful experience this morning.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. Well, we're coming out of retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
However, like we were talking before we started recording, how our electronics are still kind of going haywire.
Yes, they are.
So I'm in a different place, kind of sort of still at the beach, but anywhere is
All
anyway,
in
it's good to
divine
be here.
order. Yes, good to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
here.
Let's
So
talk about
we
our
we are here to talk
goddess.
about our goddess. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Rita of Cascia. And we're just going to talk about praying for miracles. How about that?
Yes.
Shall I read a little bit out of
Yeah.
our goddess book? Let's see here.
Sounds great.
All right. St. Rita of Cascia's life demonstrates the power of prayer to shift even what happens to be an impossible cause. And let's see, bees are her symbol, just to throw that out there, because of the diligent work that must be done to gather honey, or the immortal sweetness of Christ's love, as she would say.
Wow.
Let's see. Despite popular belief, St. Rita isn't about suffering or martyrdom, not in this context here. She is about the miracles that happen when we choose to be steadfast about something or someone. This does not mean remaining in a situation that's harmful. It means knowing that we can believe anything is possible, that everyone is ultimately forgivable, because forgiveness isn't about someone else. It's about freeing ourselves.
Yes.
I think in this context, and it goes on to talking about praying for miracles, that prayers create powerful channels of possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of a group that I belong to, where we talk about when we are in a situation with somebody that upsets us, and how it's often it's not what they're doing, it's what's going on in me. What's going on in me that's making me so disturbed with that person?
Yeah.
And then also, how does one navigate that disturbance? Is we pray for that person, pray all good things for that person, all that you would want for yourself, you want for them, and pray for however many days or weeks or months you might need to. But eventually your thoughts will come around to forgiveness and acceptance, and that's
such a powerful practice, for sure.
Yeah, and that's what kind of came to me as I was reading that, was, wow, that reminds me of what I had been taught, to pray for that person, but not just, oh gosh, that they would stop being the person that they are that's bugging me, but that, you know, I wish for them all good things. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now. And
I really love that magical practice. I think that it shifts the energy from one of victimization into empowerment.
Exactly.
Because we release ourselves from the focus of our attention being on the hurt, and instead drop into that heart space, that love space. And that's, that's what we're talking about here, friends, always coming back to
Yeah.
living a heart-centered life. And it's so easy to live in the pain because our ego minds are very it gets real sticky and stuck for them, for our mind. And so to have practices to help shift you out of the hurt, out of the pain, out of the focus of attention being on feeling that, into love, into returning to your heart, into recognizing that this pain that was produced is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to raise your vibration, to settle back into that space of remembering that you are love and that love is your lifeline. And this is, I think, a constant practice in my life. I can't speak for Paige, but where I have to constantly be like, okay, why am I focusing my energy on feeling hurt, and how can I shift that to an energy that is more in alignment with my truth, which is that every single being that I encounter in my life is a spark of the divine.
Right. And I know, Ramona, you have many practices that help open one's heart. And what's your favorite one? What's your go-to in a situation like this when you're feeling like, oh, this person?
Well, I would say my go-to always, regardless of what the scenario is to breathe. I mean, my son, my niece, I can remember, anytime they get real animated in their, when they were young, it would just be like, take a deep breath. And there is so much power in taking a breath, because first of all, it oxygenates your brain.
Well, there you go. That helps.
I mean, if we just want to go with the physiological effects, right? It takes you out of the moment, the reactive moment, into your physical body, calming. It brings calm into your being, because you're bringing prana energy into the body. And then you can observe, okay, how do I want to interact with this energy, right? As far as another tool in regards to where I feel maybe triggered, I do a lot of journaling practices. This is actually a subject that's come up a couple of times with clients this week. The importance of journaling for me is not the the daily, like, getting it out, like, because I don't journal daily. For me, it is a tool to release the energy of my ego trying to create a story without knowing all of the facts, right? Or say I'm in a situation where someone has decided that they're just going to disappear, and I can't have closure, because I've always been like, I need closure in order to move on kind of person. And I've had to really accept that sometimes you're not going to get that. And sometimes the closure is accepting the end of something and just letting it be. So journaling out everything that I feel, all my thoughts, the stories that I'm creating about the situation, it helps me to, first of all, release the energy from my being. Secondly, allows me to come back to it later, because I'll write it all out, all the story in my brain. I'll put it down, and then I'll come back to it. And then when I come back to it, I'm able to really see, okay, what are the facts here? What is it that you can see are actually things that you can do something about? And more often than not, it's about recognizing, what is my need that I'm not getting met in this situation? And then it allows me to let go of resentment or frustration or whatever emotional word you want to put in here, right? Like, it allows me to let it go and focus my energy back on me. Because anytime I'm focusing my energy out on someone else's actions, I'm not doing my work.
I love that idea. I recall going through some really emotionally brought situations, and with some people, and I was not really able to remove myself from the situation and get clarity that way, but I would sequester myself and start writing.
Yeah.
And literally, like, this is what's going on. I can't believe this, what this person is saying. I'm so I mean, just all those things that are going in your head. And just in the process of writing that out, just like having a conversation with myself.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's like that energy just starts to roll through you. It's so cathartic in a way. And then you sit back and you think, oh, I got that. It's like a brain dump, you know?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Dump that
Right.
out. Don't
Right.
let it take space in your brain, because you know they don't.
It's not serving a higher purpose. All it does is kind of it brings your energy into a denser space, right? And so the whole, the message here with our goddess is that it's about how can you let it go and let God, right? Let go, let God, let go, let goddess, whatever, however you want to look at that. But the point is that it's about how can I release this from my ego self and move it into my spiritual practice, move it into my healing work. And by releasing the brain dump and then coming back and going, okay, what do I need to give attention to help me? Then it also allows you to settle into. And so one of my favorite practices in this work of releasing this attachment to someone else's part in whatever the scenario might be is practice of gratitude. And so there is a prayer where you can just offer gratitude to that person and thank you for what you taught me. Please forgive me for any harm I might have brought to you. I forgive you for any harm you brought to me. And then help. Asking for help. It's a really powerful affirmation and prayer. I mean, it's like all the things in one, right?
Yeah. The prayer Ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
I don't think I put enough Ho'oponoponos in there.
And that's what it is. I was taught it from a yoga experience, and what we didn't call it that, but it's the same thing. It's just again, it's all about traditions. Like, what you can pull things from all these traditions that are really the same. It's about, it all comes back to living from the heart.
Yeah. And we were talking this week and in what you shared yesterday and or on Monday, and I've shared on Tuesday, that about expecting miracles. And I wanted to say something about that. Trying to.
Well, you know what?
That I am miraculous.
Yeah. Well, I will share with you. So where I am today is at my very dear friend Jody's house. And this practice that I'm referring to, which is really interesting because I didn't even put it together until right this moment.
Okay.
Jody and I were friends in college. We had a falling out. And over 8 years time, there was this sadness and this grief and all of these things that were happening for me. And then a few years back, 5, maybe 6. I can't even remember. This is how much we've kind of let go of the pain that occurred. We came back together into one another's lives. And interestingly enough, about a month prior to that happening, I really let go. I really just offered it up because she would show up in my dreams. She was constantly on my heart. And there was just this kind of feeling of loss of not having this friendship in my life. And then I was moved at one point in time to just offer gratitude for what she brought to my life and to let go. And so I offered this prayer of gratitude. It's that exact thing I was just talking to you about, the, you know, I forgive you. Please forgive me. I'm grateful for you. Please help. And this is a prayer. And I let go and said, I'm giving this to God, Goddess, universe, divine, whatever words you need to use. And I said, I love you. I'm letting go.
Mhm.
And then a month later, she reached out and she said, can we talk? and everything
Imagine
else
that.
is history. Like where we are now is one of the safest friendships that I have in my life. And it's because we both grew and allowed healing. And if I can say that that was miraculous, it was. It was
The
truly miraculous.
miracle that happens when we let go.
Mm-hmm. And
So
just trust that the divine is working on our behalf. Yeah, it's
that's
magical.
right.
It is so magical. So miracles happen.
Miracles happen.
Just trust that it's possible and do the work, set up the practices that are going to align to your heart and allow it.
There you go.
So with that,
Pretty simple.
Yeah. So we have a full moon event this evening. So we'll hope that you would hop in and join us. If you'd like information, check out the events on Authentic Life Journey. We'll try to drop it into the feed here as well.
Yeah.
And Paige, as always, I love our goddess chats. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
I hope you do too. And look forward to chatting with you and with all you other goddesses next week.
Have a beautiful day. Namaste.